How many sheep it takes to make an average-sized pullover? Do you know that Marconi discovered the wireless completely by accident?
This is the BBC Home Service. Here is the news. The wireless has just been invented. Now today.
Do you know the mating call of the African hippopotamus?
Want a good time, dearie?
Well, now's your chance to find out as you broaden your mind.
Good evening. Good evening. This program is an encyclopedia of the air. In the next 30 minutes, we'll be telling you a little bit about everything.
Yes, geography, history, biology, economics, and so on.
Well, first of all, we take a look at two recent advances in the world of science.
Yes, this is a new type of plastic, zebedite, named after the famous scientist Humphrey Zebedite, me. Son of Sir Archibald Zebedite, me.
Zebedite is a polyester resin.
Named after his wife, polyester resin.
It is completely indestructible.
This is a zebedite milk jug. If you hit it with a hammer, no harm done.
That's if you should want to hit it with a hammer.
Quite.
So you see, if your parties get exciting, no messy, broken milk jugs to clear up in the morning. Zebedite, completely indestructible. And now a machine which some scientists claim can reverse the sequence of time.
Everything goes backwards, they claim, if you press this lever here. Here, lever this, press you if, claim they, backwards go.
Time of sequence the reverse can claim scientists some which machine may not understand. Oh. In our section on law tonight, we consider the criminal. What is it that makes people turn to crime? It can't just be the security. For example, what effect does violence on television have on people? Well, whatever the cause is, the effects concern us all. Burglary, for example. What can we, the public, do about it? Well, one thing is, when you're going away for your holidays, remember to cancel your milk and newspapers. Another thing to remember is your luggage. But what is the best thing to do if you're at home when you hear burglars in the house?
Burglars!
Well, this is certainly the best and safest thing to do. But I doubt if any man will be allowed to get away with it for very long.
Burglars! Darling, there is a burglar downstairs. I want you to go down and do something about it and beat him up.
Yes, I think I will. I'll go downstairs and see if there is here's a burglar down there. There's no burglar downstairs, darling. And I checked the garden.
Darling, there is someone down there. I can still hear them. Why don't you go and shout something at them?
Shout something at them, I will. I'll go out. I'll show them. I'll shout something at them. Hello, burglars. I'm just popping to the bathroom. What?
Darling, you shouldn't have said that. Now they'll know when to jump out on you. Oh, I hope they don't wake the boys.
The boys. Great. I hope those burglars don't wake the boys who are visiting us for a few days from the university. Nigel, Tony, and, Tarzan.
Look out, dear.
What? Where?
I just want you to be careful.
I hope those burglars aren't stealing those silver cups that I won for boxing, those boxing cups that I won a few days ago. I say, darling, do you think it could be the sole survivor from the last lot of burglars that came here, or was he too badly injured?
What about the dog?
What dog? Where? What dog? Oh, the dog, yes. Are you there, Spot? Are you there, Black Havoc? Black Havoc, this is your last warning. You kill one more postman and I'll have to have you put down.
All right, burglars, we're coming down to get you.
Yes, we're coming down to get you immediately. Woof, woof. Down, Black Havoc. Woof, woof. Pass me my gun, dear.
What gun?
No, not any of those little guns. The big gun.
You mean the one I oiled this morning?
Yes, that's the one. Damn! Only 4 rounds left. Bang! Down, Black Havoc, and stop eating those scissors. Bang! Bang! Oh. Burglar!
This week, our sociology course takes us to class, or as we sometimes call it, class. This evening, we ask ourselves the question, what makes a gentleman? Apart, of course, from a gentlewoman. Is it his parents, or is it just the school he goes to? If so, would you send your son to Eton?
What, send my boy to Eton? Nah. Well, I'd rather send him to good tech where he'd learn a good trade, like a fitter or something like that. But I wouldn't send him to Eton. I mean, for one thing, he wouldn't enjoy it there. I know I didn't.
How can you recognize a gentleman? One thing is certain. A gentleman knows a gentleman, even if he's never met him before in his life.
Good heavens! Good gracious! Hello! Hello! Well, if it isn't Porky Blathertrap. No, it isn't. Well, if it isn't Porky Blathertrap, it must be Pongo Fanshawe. No, it's not. Still, wonderful to see you. You too, Jampot. I'm not Jampot. Never mind. I haven't seen you since... Neither have I. When was it? No. Wonderful times we had together. Never forget them, whenever it was. Neither will I. Harpooner.
Catman,
the
Bill,
Bath,
the Lincolnshire.
Yeah.
Do you remember that night?
Yeah.
Do you remember that night when Buffy Horsebladder got pie-eyed, disguised himself as a set of bagpipes, caught the hiccups, and died playing Old Lang Syne 145 times? Neither do I, really.
Wonderful war I had, you know.
Me too, really. I enjoyed them both.
Did you?
You know, I always say,
Yes.
started the first war unmarried,
Yes.
finished it married,
Yes.
started the second war married, finished it divorced. I always say that. Don't know why, it's not true. By the way, have you met my wife Elspeth?
Angelica.
Angelica. Yes. Oh, well, we must dash.
Tell me, I got to get to the club to see Froggy, Jingo, Chopper, Beery, Fat.
Not Fat Singleton.
No!
Oh. Still, it's been wonderful seeing you again, Toffee Nose.
I'm not Toppy Nose, but lovely to see you, Bomber.
I'm not Bomber, actually. But cheerio.
Cheerio, keep in touch.
Cheerio, Snotty.
Who was that, darling?
I've no idea, but I got his wallet.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
That is to say, Professor Frederick Pottermore here, and myself.
Shanghai Lil.
Beg your pardon, Freddy.
That was the name of the film I was telling you about. Shanghai Lil, with all those primitive native dancers with no clothes on. Wallabalumba.
I see. Well, in fact, we're just measuring the speed of sound, you see. Like this. Be ready, Freddy.
Ready, speed of sound.
Right.
Hello, Teddy. What do you make it?
6:30.
Oh, better get a move on then.
Yes,
Teddy.
yes.
Yeah.
Now, I expect you're wondering what we're going to talk about tonight.
I'm not, you know.
Aren't you, Freddy?
No, I know what we're going to talk about tonight.
Oh, well, what are we going to talk about?
Primitive tribal dancers with no clothes on.
No, not quite. Very close, very close. We are, in fact, going to talk about nuclear physics.
With no clothes on, Teddy.
You see, nuclear physics is quite simple once you've grasped the basic facts.
Wallabalumba.
For example, this is a uranium atom.
Oh, it's very big, isn't it, Teddy?
Yes, it surprised me too, Freddy. Yes. And this, you see, is another of them.
Oh, are you going to do a trick with them, Teddy?
When they're brought together, they form a critical mass,
Teddy.
which causes a chain reaction,
Careful, Teddy.
which results in a huge explosion.
Careful, Teddy,
What?
careful.
Oh, careful. Watch it.
Oh, that could have
That was
been.
close, yes.
Oh, keep them apart, Teddy.
Yes, I think we'd better do something a little safer, you know.
Wallabalumba.
No, not that.
How about history, Teddy?
What about history?
It's safer,
Oh, yeah. No, it's not, you know.
isn't it?
Most of the people in history are dead.
Oh, yes. Better go on with nuclear physics, then.
Yes, I'll tell you what we can do.
What?
We can act out for them in dramatic
Oh,
form.
dramatic form.
In
Goody.
dramatic form, do you see?
Yes.
The splitting of the atom.
Oh.
You, Freddy, you can be the atom.
Oh, up an atom, Teddy. Well, what do I do as an atom?
Well, you go and stand over there,
I'm the atom over here.
right?
Yes.
And I'll be a high-speed electron.
Not what I call high speed, Teddy. What are you doing?
I am going to split the atom.
You're not, you know.
Freddy, come back here, Freddy.
I don't want to be split.
Stop running about like that.
Are you sure this is how they split the atom?
Yes.
It's very tiring, isn't it? More like a primitive tribal dance, Wallabalumba. Yes.
Freddy.
Yes, Teddy.
It would help if you stood still and let yourself get split, you know.
Oh, will you promise me it doesn't hurt?
Yes, promise.
Well, careful about it, then.
Right.
All
Well,
right.
here I come to split the atom.
Oh, careful, Teddy. Oh.
Oh, Freddy. Where are you, Freddy?
What is it, Teddy?
Oh, Freddy, I think we're onto something.
What do you mean? Oh, hello there. Hello. Oh, another Teddy. Hello, Wallabalumba. Oh, stop
Well, welcome back. How are you getting on so far?
Now, we've had a letter from a Mr. Robinson of Doncaster, who says that he has trouble in memorizing the amazing number of facts that we manage to cram into each program. Well, Mr. Robinson, a good way to remember things is to tie a knot in the corner of your handkerchief. Or, if you've forgotten to bring your handkerchief with you, another good way is to tie a little bit of string round your finger.
What's that to remind you of?
I've no idea. Oh, yes.
Well, let's get straight on with the next subject, which is, of course, Oh, economics.
Economics, yes. And today we look at the British businessman and the proud label he carries, British made. There are over 5 million British businessmen in this country alone. But what makes a British businessman? Well, here's where it all begins, in a little factory in the heart of Sussex. Behind these doors, the raw materials are stored and left to mature over the years. Jonas Chippenwood, the master craftsman, who learnt his skills from his father, selects a properly matured specimen. His expert eye and hand tell him that this one is ripe. The untreated specimen is taken from the vaults to the workshop by the apprentice, young Nobby. Here, the first stage of preparation is carried out, as the raw material is placed in the mold. Once in the mold, it is coated with a mixture whose composition has been a closely guarded secret since the days of Ethelred the Unready. Three hours later, the mold is opened and the first stage is complete. Next stop, the design department, where Mrs. Muriel Beavis has worked for over 20 years at her job, a craft which requires great skill and precision. Nothing less than perfect is good enough for Mrs. Beavis. At last, the British businessman is beginning to take shape, as each handmade component is fitted with the care born of centuries of skilled craftsmanship.
This business has been in the family for 15 generations that I can remember. And I've been working here, man and woman, for nigh on 950 years. And I'm still learning new tricks. Mind you, nowadays it's all machinery and conveyor belts and such like. Of course, when I started out as a lad, things was just the same.
But the high standards of Mr. Chippenwood and his colleagues do not end at the factory door. Selected samples are rigorously tested under extreme conditions. We put a British businessman on a railway line and set him off at a fixed speed. But first, we added a special ingredient. Each component is given a final check, and away he goes. A little slow at first, but he soon gets into his stride. 10 miles. 20 miles, and still going strong. Not until 20,000 miles does the British businessman show slight signs of wear and tear. Yes, 20,000 miles, and British made.
Year 1594. Shakespeare's first play, The Comedy of Errors, is performed. This date marks the birth of English drama. Yet we are still asking the same question. Who was William Shakespeare? Did William Shakespeare really exist? Or was he Francis Bacon? Or was he somebody else who called himself William Shakespeare? Or was he some other William Shakespeare? We shall never know. So let's forget Shakespeare and look at another aspect of Elizabethan theatre which has remained with us almost unchanged to this very day, the traditional English music hall.
Ladies and gentlemen, High Jinks of 1586 present tonight's star attraction. Those two matchless maestros of mellifluous mirth and merry mummery. I give you your own, your very own, Jot and Tittle.
Hail, Tittle, well, mitty feet.
Jot, from whence comest?
Whence comest? I comest from the house of Mistress Quickly.
Mistress Quickly, she is somewhat of a fast one.
Think on't is in jest. Nay, but at the house of Mistress Quickly you get both the board and the lodging. Board and lodging.
Nay, but verily, on my way to the theatre tonight, I saw a terrible sight.
Prithee, thou meanst my mother-in-law.
Nay, but speaking while of mother-in-laws, my mother-in-law, ladies and gentlemen, my mother-in-law has just sailed with Drake to the West Indies.
Jamaica?
No, he took her as ballast.
Tush, I was at a banquet the other day with all.
With all, he gets about.
He does indeed. And there was a fish in my broth.
It's a fish in me broth, Jess.
It is indeed. There was a fish in me broth. Tapster, I quoth. There's a fish in me broth. And do you know what he replied?
Nay, I know not what he replied.
He replied, that is no fish, sire. That is your codpiece. Tarry for it, better cometh. Methinks. Nay, my spouse, she has been, ladies and gentlemen, unfaithful.
Does she play the strumpet?
Yes, and she's no virginal either.
Jot, shall I hurriedly tell thee a topical tale?
Tell me a topical tale, Tittle.
Her Majesty the Queen.
God bless her.
Was descending the other day from a coach into a puddle.
Into a puddle right up to her
Nay. And she turned, ladies and gentlemen, to Sir Walter Raleigh.
What did she say?
Where are the cloaks?
And he replied,
first right and follow the rush packing.
Are you sure 'twas he?
Yes, 'twas Sir Walter Raleigh.
I don't wish to know that. Kindly leave the globe.
But now, Jot,
yes,
shall we finish with a little song?
A little song?
A lute song.
A really lute song.
An incredibly lute song, entitled A Farthingale Hung in Berkeley Square.
Or Stop Your Tittling Jot. Minstrel, prithee.
When the wheel of fortune runs you down and the heavens above are grey, just step a measure, swap a jest, and sing a rounded lay. Remember, the world's a stage, that's what the poets say. So step a measure,
swap a jest, and sing a rounded lay.
You know, Jot.
Yes, Tittle.
I hear the bard is to wed.
Yes, at last Anne Hathaway. But will Shakespeare?
It's a bard joke.
A very bard joke.
And when the last alarum sounds and you come to the end of the play, just step a measure,
swap a jest,
and sing a round lay.
Hey, nonny,
sing a round lay. It's swing and sing a round lay.
Today, the institution which we consider is the church. And we pose the question, in Britain today, just how powerful are the clergy? One of the many difficulties facing the church today is the fact that congregations are dropping off, not only during the sermon. Obviously, a new, more dynamic approach is called for.
See you it is, Emerald.
It's the vicar.
Oh, it's the vicar. Oh, will you go and let him in, dear, and I'll hide the TV Times.
It's the vicar, dearest.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Vicar.
Won't you sit down, vicar?
No, thank you.
If it's about the jumble sale, we haven't any old clothes.
Only the ones we're wearing, Vicar.
No, it's not about the jumble sale.
Oh.
I don't think I saw you at Matins this morning.
Oh.
You weren't there, were you?
Yes.
No, I mean, yes.
No.
I'm not interested in your pettifogging little excuses. The fact remains you weren't at Matins.
Oh, we did buy tickets, vicar.
We bought the best pews in the house. We bought, Vicar.
Not enough.
Oh.
I've had my eye on you two for a long time now. You're a pair of troublemakers, aren't you?
Troublemakers?
Troublemakers! Which reminds me, when are you two going to get married?
We are married, Vicar.
Oh, when are you going to get married again?
But you married us 4 times already, Vicar.
Yes, I know, but I need the money.
Oh, we can't afford it again, vicar, honestly.
Can't afford it? Look here. I know who's been putting those pajama buttons in the collection plate. I'm not a fool, you know.
Oh, it wasn't us, vicar.
We haven't got any pajama buttons.
We haven't got any pajamas.
Don't try to deny it. I have a search warrant.
Oh.
And by the way, I noticed you whispering to Mrs. Moss the other day. What were you talking about? Well, what?
Well, we were just talking about the new curate that's moved into the vicarage.
My new curate at the vicarage, eh? And what's wrong with her?
Oh, there's nothing wrong with her, is
No,
there?
it's just that she's a bit tall for a curate, Vicar.
Now, look here.
Oh, dear.
I'm getting pretty sick of your rabble-rousing schemes behind my back.
Oh, Vicar.
I may have to arrange a little visit.
Oh.
From the verger.
Oh, no,
Not that.
not the verger. Anything but the verger. Not the verger. I've still got the scars, Vicar.
Very well. This time I'll let you off. But if it happens again, I shall get Mrs. Figgis to show you her colour slides of the Holy Land. With an account of her experiences in Ramoth Gilead.
You monster.
What?
Oh, George, you shouldn't have said that.
You monster. I'm not afraid of you.
Really? We shall see.
I'm not afraid of you. You see, I have a secret.
Oh?
Yes, I have a secret. Watch this. Shazam!
Super Bishop.
The same, vicar!
Well, now we come to the part of the program where you have a chance to show your mettle as you sharpen your wits.
Tonight, first of all, we have for you a little mathematical problem.
John is having a bath. The volume of the bath is 36 cubic feet. The volume of the water in the bath is 20 cubic feet. And the volume of John is 6 cubic feet. What, then, causes the water to overflow?
Well, now we come to the part of the quiz entitled True or False.
Send your answers on a postcard, please, marked Prize Competition, to this address.
The first correct entry will receive a prize of £20,000.
I think you'll find that this one is correct.
Sorry, I'm afraid you're just too late.
Thank you.